Beats my trill, straight Killerville, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what's good? We are back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. We're gonna take y'all back into another BKFC interview. This guy actually started out in kickboxing, and I hope I ain't pronouncing this wrong. Sancha fighting. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. And then he transitioned into the BKFC. He had 6 fights under his belt, 3-3. And if I'm not mistaken, he fights 2 weight classes, flyweight and bantamweight, if I'm not mistaken. Let's bring him in, the one and only JR the Lion Ridge.
What's going on?
What's up, man? Did I get all that right?
You did, but my very first BKFC fight was at a catch weight at 130.
Okay.
And, we just remain here at flyweight now, 125.
Okay, that's what's up. I want to start here. What's the difference between kickboxing and Sancha fighting? Because I don't know, and I think a lot of people need to know.
So basically what it is if you can imagine Muay Thai mixed with judo.
Okay.
So you get points for sweeps, hip throws, hip tosses, but you don't fight on the ground. You get back up and fight again. So it's punch, kick, knees, and elbows, depending on where you're at, plus throws.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very interesting sport. It's definitely exciting to watch. So if you can imagine Muay Thai with judo, it's definitely it's something different. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's what's up. What was the transition like from kickboxing and Sancha fighting into the BareKnuckle?
It was a pretty easy transition. My original coach, my original Sancho coach, he was a boxer in China before he made the switch to Sancho. And so his style was more geared towards boxing with the punches, kicks, knees, and throws. So it was he instilled all his boxing, his style into me. So it was super easy transition. Like that would be crazy if there was a time in BKFC I accidentally kicked somebody, but I don't think something like that would ever happen. You know what I mean? That would be crazy.
Yeah.
One thing too is when it comes to the clinch, I'm very familiar with the clinch. I'm able to use the leverage properly. Like I personally don't like to sit and bang in the clinch. A lot of these fighters in BKFC enjoy it. I don't. So whenever it comes to the clinch, if I get clinched out with some guy, I know how to work it and then hold and then reset and then fight again.
Okay. I hate to bring up losses, but you fought Tyler Randall. I actually watched it again today. He's only like I guess an inch taller, but it seems like, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a fight expert, but it seems like you were trying to come low and fast on him.
Yeah, so on paper, all the the podcasters and all the BKFC journalists, like I was supposed to just beat the dust off Tyler Randall. And how can I say this? I basically gave Tyler Randall the fight. That was like I was in the ring, but I was not fighting, right?
Okay.
And I gave it away. I gave it away. I don't know where I was at. I don't know where my head was at. Like, I gave him the fight. I wasn't fighting to win. I know my capabilities. I know how confident I am in my craft, and I could have beat the tar out of Tyler Randall. And I just gave it away. That's it, hands down. Like, I can only be disappointed in myself. Like I gave it to him. You know,
I
he
definitely
didn't
saw
win
a
the
few
fight.
punches that should have landed, and if they would have landed, he would have been out cold. Like you could just see the ferocity behind some of those punches you were throwing.
Yeah, and I didn't sit. You know, I didn't get inside. You know, work on. I was just moving in there, especially in the 4th and 5th round. And I can only get mad at myself. I gave Tyler Randall the fight. He did not beat me. I gave it to him. And it's just something that it's just, you know, I can only be disappointed in myself.
Now, I just interviewed Zach Kalman's Shark Attack, and I had to ask him this, you know, like, because BKFC is so different than boxing. How do you stay motivated for the next fight even after a loss?
You know, that's a very good question. You know, with any fighter, any athlete, when you experience a loss, all you can think about is getting that loss back, right?
Yeah.
So the next person that you fight, you are going to make sure you win.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a point in every fighter's career that they lose that edge. And I'm hoping that the time I had off from when I fought John in the title fight to the time I had fought Tyler, did I have too much time off? Did I have a little ring rust? Did I lose a little bit of the ferociousness that I had originally when I first came into BKFC? I don't know. That lion is truly still inside of me, and I will fight anybody, and And I know I am one of the best flyweight bare knuckle boxers in the game. Like, there's nobody with my talent. But I let it go. I let it go, Paul. I gave it away. I had to check myself after the fight. I had to check who I was. I took some time off. Me and my girl, we went to a little weekend getaway. I had to reset and regroup. You know, I had to really ask myself, do I still have it? Yeah, I do. And we're gonna get that back. Like, I've already talked to my management about running it back with Tyler. So we'll definitely make it happen.
I think when we interviewed Redneck, he kind of was saying like something about how some of the fights be spaced out too long too.
Yeah, I 100%.
Like, yeah, for each fighter, like, they got to wait so long to get that next fight because there's so many fighters in BKFC right now.
So many fighters in BKFC right now, which is good.
Yeah.
But what some of these guys like myself, Dave Mundell, Zach Helmus, you know what I'm saying? Other guys that have been that have built a name in BKFC in their weight classes. Like, we need to stay busy as possible throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, fight, have a few months off. Sometimes some of these guys, they're not fighting for a year. Like, Dave Mundell is the champ in the middleweight class. Good friend of mine. His last fight was, who did he fight? It was
it's been a while, right?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Word on the streets is that he's going to be fighting overseas. But the thing is, like, the champ, Dave Mundell, it's like he should have already fought in 2024.
Yeah, he's actually my favorite.
Yeah, Dave Mundell is damn good guy. One of my close friends. You know, we've trained together for ever since I got back in the game, like 4 or 5 years ago here in Clearwater area. I live out here in St. Pete now, but I see him on a regular, and he was one of the guys that actually, got me interested in BKFC. So whenever he got in, I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this, you know. So yeah, man. Like they need to have us homegrown guys, especially the ones that have already built a name for ourselves in BKFC, that we didn't build a name for ourselves in the UFC, and we didn't build a name for ourselves in pro boxing. We are homegrown guys. They need to have these homegrown guys as busy as possible. That's the only thing that, because the promotion's great, the everything is great about the promotion, but when it comes down to keeping these homegrown guys busy throughout the year, I think it needs to, I think it needs to be more consistent.
I agree with that, definitely. If I'm not mistaken, do you manage a boxing gym?
I did.
You
So
did?
sadly, we had to close the doors.
Oh man.
Yeah, we had to close the doors. It's a long story. Like, I mean,
What
I
wasn't
don't
it
want to
like
put
Floyd
anybody on
Mayweather's gym or
blast.
something?
What's that?
Wasn't it like Floyd Mayweather's gym or something?
Yeah. It was. It was a franchise. The big owner, and then I ran the place, and I was working for a percentage in ownership. But yeah, sadly we had to close the doors.
Damn, sorry to hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It is what it is. Sometimes, anybody that's watching, when it comes to like fitness or boxing, like or boxing fitness franchises, the amount of royalties you got to pay back is crazy. And plus, right now, the rent is high, bills,
Yeah.
the overhead. But if you're gonna do it, I would definitely brand it yourself and do your own thing. The franchises are hard. They are hard.
Now, do you train other BKFC fighters?
Um, I wouldn't say like I train as like they're my head, like I'm their head coach, but
Yeah.
I do like I manage Michael Hecker.
Okay.
He's also fought this last he fought in Clearwater. Um, but I also, I hold the mitts for him. Like we'll go over strategy. I coached him at one point before he got back in the fight game, and then whenever he decided to get back in the fight game, like he's now with me, Ryan Reber. A lot of us are over at with our coach now, James Battle, over at Battle Zone Boxing.
Yeah, I love some Ryan Reber.
Yeah, right.
He had that comeback in that one fight, and when we did a Circle Kings interview, I mean, he was just so hype, man. And it was an amazing fight. It was like probably the fight of the night, I think, that night.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryan is like my brother, like Mike, Brian, Julian. Like we're all very, very close, and everybody that trains out of Battle Zone, we're all very, very close. It's like we're family. And Ryan and I, like I was running a boxing program out of a Muay Thai gym, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, and then that's how I met Ryan. And then I was training with Ryan, and then Ryan, like at the time, my old head coach Matt McCusker was also Ryan's coach. But Ryan had left, went over to James Battle at Battle Zone Boxing, and I ended up leaving as well because Matt wants to focus on his Muay Thai guys, which is cool. I get it. He's a Muay Thai guy. It's a Muay Thai gym, and he's got a lot of Muay Thai guys fighting in and out of Thailand and everywhere. So, out of respect for myself and out of respect for him, he was just like, it's better that we stay close, we stay friends. Just go get your training where it's going to benefit you. So that was a great deal. So, but when Ryan left, I ended up going over there too. And James Battle, Coach Bo, they're the best coaching duo that I've ever had.
That's what's up. When's your next fight? Do you know?
So we're working. My management. I told them I'd like to fight June in Miami. Just because I didn't take a lot of damage. I don't want to take time off. And I need to stay busy, just like how we mentioned a few minutes ago. I need to stay busy. I need to keep my hunger up. You know what I'm saying? My hunger and my tenacity, like how I act in the ring, needs to be just like how I was fighting in my first couple fights with BKFC. That's who I need to be like every time. Taking this too much time off, everybody gets comfortable, and maybe I was a little comfortable with Tyler. Maybe I just was just moved, like not. I wasn't fighting. I was comfortable. So I need to stay busy, man. So hopefully I can get on that June card in Miami. If not, as soon as possible. As soon as possible. So we're working it. My management's working it. So.
Do they typically only do like people like under 3 fight contracts usually? I know like Zach always says he gets like 3 fight contracts, and then when that's up, 3 more fights. Is that typically how they do it?
I mean, it all depends. It all depends. Sometimes it's better to just do single fight contracts because you don't because if you agree to a multi-fight deal, this is what you're going to get paid this fight. This is what you're going to get paid this fight. This is what you're going to get paid this fight. There's no negotiation once you sign on that dotted line. So it all depends. It all depends on who you are, and what how you want to approach it and how your management is. So either way, if you agree to a multi-fight deal, the most important thing is obviously negotiate second and third fight purse before you sign. You know what I'm saying? So don't like take a sign on the dotted line and then you fight Chad Mendez and you're only getting paid peanuts. You know what I'm saying? Because you signed for it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's very important to consider that for sure.
And I noticed like some fights they don't let go on because of like the Redneck Mundell and Mike Perry. Like Redneck want Mike Perry forever. I've heard like it has something to do with like followings and stuff like that. Like they want certain fighters that have certain followings, but I think a lot of the fans would want that fight.
Yeah, absolutely, and the fans do want that fight. But when it comes to a fight game, to the fight game, and also the fastest growing promotion, they have to look at it at a business standpoint, and which I get. Mike Perry is a big name. He's got charisma. He's got the way Mike Perry. He's a character. He's a character, and he's a hot character for the business, right? So Dave Mundell would beat him. Okay, Dave Mundell would beat him. I'm not.
I agree.
I'm not just saying that because he's a close friend of mine. I'm saying that because we all know he would. So if Dave Mundell beats the dust off of Mike Perry, he loses steam and the company loses steam. So which I get. So it's going to eventually happen. Like it will happen. It's just
just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. And Dave, Dave's one of the homegrown guys that should be as hot as Mike, which, I don't know why, like Dave should have been, they should promote Dave quite often. But then it goes, nowadays your social media is your resume. It doesn't matter if you're the champ. It doesn't matter if you are Donald Trump. Your social media is your resume. And again, like it sucks. Like I hate. Like I get to the point. Like now that I've built a fan base in BKFC. Sometimes I get tired as hell of checking my Instagram and replying back to people and doing things like that. I get tired of it.
Yeah.
But it's something that we've got to do to stay relevant in the game, and that's true.
I don't know if you know the answer to this question though, but I can't figure out like you go to BKFC, they got one specific rankings, and then you go to Knuckle Town, they got a different rankings. Like Knuckle Town got you ranked like 8th. BKFC has you like the number 1 ranked in the flyweight. I don't know if that's old or is it been updated or.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be updated probably within this week or next week. Just because Tyler Randall, he won. So
He was like 4th, I think, right?
He is third or fourth.
Yeah.
So that will change. Knuckletown rankings are different. And
Okay, so they're different.
Box Rec is different too. There was one point where I was ranked number 4 in Box Rec. I looked the other day, actually before the Tyler Randall fight. Now I'm all the way down to like 9 or something. 9th.
That's a far drop.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So what I go off of is the rankings of where I'm fighting, who I'm fighting for.
Who you're fighting.
Yeah. Who I'm fighting for. I fight for BareKnuckle. I fight for BKFC. Whatever their rankings are, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's where you rank.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm not fighting for BYB or BKB. I'm not fighting for Valor. I'm fighting for BKFC. So if their rankings, they have me at number 1. Regardless, I was number 1 because I was number 1.
Yeah.
But now since Tyler won, it'll probably bump me to probably number 3. You know what I'm saying?
Rambo will probably go up to number 1, right?
Probably Tyler.
So he'll go up that far off, that high off of that win, just because you were ranked number 1. They'll bump him up to number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
More than likely.
And I remember Rambo Russo when he was actually got arrested. I think at he was supposed to fight at the BKFC and he got arrested or something like that.
Yeah, he got arrested. Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, because we interviewed him too, and he's definitely he's only 2-0, but it seems like they trying to push him kind of heavy too. It seemed like.
Yeah, it seemed like, but I don't know, man. I think if I don't want to talk bad about any fighter, I respect everybody, but that's something like that's just not a good look for you as a professional, and it's not a good look for the organization.
No, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't.
So I mean, and with Rambo, like even with Tyler, I'm like, I gave him that fight. After I fought Tyler, Rambo got on his social media talking trash. I'm not one to clap back because I'm a respectable professional and I know who I am. But for him, I had no beef with Rambo before. But, for him to go on social media and start talking trash about somebody that has built the 125 division basically with John Dodson and Chancey Wilson, like don't disrespect me like that. Don't disrespect me. I don't disrespect nobody. But eventually Rambo and I will probably face each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna fight an unranked guy, my next opponent. Like, but when it happens, it happens. But yeah. With Rambo, like the reason why Tyler will be ranked number 1 is because Rambo only has 2 fights and Tyler has I think 5 or 6 now.
Yeah.
And then he beat the number 1 ranked guy. So it'll bump him to 1. That would be crazy if it bumps me to 2 and bumps Rambo down just because I have more fights.
And that'll just make him want to shit talk even more probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I get it. And some fighters build a name on talking trash.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
You're right. Some do. Yeah.
And it's cool. It's entertaining. That's who they are. But don't disrespect what I've done in the sport already. Don't do that.
Well, I got a couple more questions for you. What's your ultimate goal in BKFC?
To chase down that title. I want that rematch with John, man. I want the rematch with Dodson. BKFC did an interview And I said, man, like John is half Filipino. I was born in the Philippines. Like the rematch with John at the end of the year in the Philippines, and the Philippines would
That'd be amazing.
It would be amazing. It would be huge for the sport. It would segue more fighters into the sport. BKFC Philippines. We've gone everywhere else. We've gone to Europe. We've gone to Thailand. We're going to Mexico. We're in where were we? They just did tryouts.
Didn't they do Bulgaria too recently?
Bulgaria, yeah. They did
Canada.
tryouts.
I mean, y'all everywhere.
Colombia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canada. They just did one tryouts in Colombia. So the Philippines it's got to be next. And you know they know I want it in the Philippines, and you know for John to be able to go back to his roots too. That would be an amazing opportunity. That would be an amazing fight for the both of us.
My brother-in-law, he's Philippines, and y'all resemble each other, especially when you did the interview with glasses. Y'all look just like, except you the Cottonese BareKnuckle version.
Man. He must be handsome as hell because I'm handsome.
Yeah, I love my brother-in-law. Shouts out to you, Raymond.
Oh, he's Raymond.
Raymond, I think their last name is Boogaran or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, his parents came over from the Philippines. He was born here, but he married my baby sister, and I couldn't ask for her to have a better husband, man. I definitely ain't gonna have to worry about BareKnuckle on him.
Yeah.
How big do you think BKFC gets? Do you think it could be as big as UFC?
Yes, I believe so.
I do too.
I believe so. They're doing all the right things. Like David Feldman is doing all the right things for the sport. He's a relentless owner, right? He's a relentless owner. He has been since day one. He hasn't stopped. He'll continue to keep doing what he's doing. He'll continue to get more fighters from other organizations, and he will continue to have homegrown guys build names in their divisions. So I would say within the next 3 to 5 years, BKFC is going to be just as big as UFC. It's not going to be compared to UFC, how UFC and Bellator is. It's going to be a separate sport.
Yeah.
Like UFC is the number one for MMA.
Yeah.
Like BareKnuckle within 3 to 5 years, it's just going to be a regular sport. Like it's not gonna, like when people say BareKnuckle, like other people are like, oh my God, BareKnuckle. Like within 3 to 5 years, when people say BareKnuckle, they're gonna be like, yeah, like it's gonna be like a regular conversation.
Yeah.
About a combat sport. So BKFC will be it's already the number one BareKnuckle
sport.
But BareKnuckle as a whole, 3 to 5 years from now, they're going to talk BKFC as how they talk about UFC for BareKnuckle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I noticed y'all like kind of provide a second shelf life for like fighters like from UFC and boxing to come over to BareKnuckle, and like with Austin Trout, have a second career in doing the BareKnuckle sometimes when they kind of fizzle out of boxing or something else.
Yeah. And we've seen it already. It's happened, Chad Mendez, who else? Eddie Alvarez, some big names in UFC. It's only an amount of time. I believe that David Feldman will get Conor McGregor to do a BareKnuckle fight before Conor officially hangs it up.
Yeah.
And does his thing. I have a feeling that it will happen.
And that'll be big for the sport. That'll be huge. That'll be huge.
And Conor said so himself on an interview that he would do it. He's not opposed to it,
Yeah.
So
probably got to have the right money though, right? The right money,
right?
Yeah.
And then the right time.
Yeah.
Like I believe Conor, like he's scheduled to fight, what's his name in the UFC soon, and now he's doing movies. So it's only a matter of time to where Connor's like I'm done with fighting. But David Feldman, like if you want to give me some cash, I'll do one bare knuckle fight, help you
Why
build the
not?
sport, and then call it out. Peace out.
Peace out. And that alone would help propel and boost the sport. That'll bring so many eyeballs to it, that don't know about it just yet, because like you said, it's not totally mainstream, but it's right there. I mean, it's scratching the surface, not about to kick down the door. I got one last question for you, and I actually came up with this question myself. What do you think makes like bare knuckle fighters different than the average person? Like y'all like so fearless, and the average person is just like, I think, full of fear.
Bare knuckle guys, bare knuckle fighters. I wouldn't say we're completely fearless, because a fighter that is completely fearless is BS.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say that it's the love of the sport. It's the love of what is in our blood, of whatever combat sport we grew up in, and what we're the opportunities that we have now with bare knuckle. It's the love of what we do, and it's the love of what God has blessed us with. That's what makes us different than a regular person when it comes to bare knuckle, because there's other fighters that are like, no, I will never do bare knuckle. But the guys that are coming over and building a name in bare knuckle, it's the love of the sport. It's the love of the pureness of the fight sport.
Yeah. I know when we interviewed Chris Lido on the Circle Kings, he actually said at first he thought it was crazy because there was some UFC cat that was doing it, and he was like, that sounds ridiculous. And then he saw it and he was like, sign me up.
Right. That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
Whenever I cornered Julian Lane in the Bostwick fight with my old coach, I was like, this is not that bad.
Yeah, it's not what people think. They had the wrong perception maybe at first.
Yeah, exactly. And at the time, like they were in the process of bringing in the 125ers, and then I was like, this is not that bad. Like I'm in it. Like bring me back. I'm back in it. So that's what got me. Whenever I saw it, I was like, this is not that bad.
Well, I know they call you the Lion, but I gotta say, you fight like a bulldog, man. You like a bulldog in there, man. Especially when you and Chancey were going at it. Y'all like two bulldogs going at it, man.
Yeah, that was a good fight. Chancey, that was I would probably say that was one of my most favorite fights in BKFC.
That's what's up. Well, before we go, anything you want to shout out, man?
Shout out my sponsors, St. Pete Cryo, Elite Body Cryo out here in St. Pete, Wicked Muay Thai, making me the best shorts in the game, always keeping me laced up, Secret Tattoo Shop here in Tampa. They do all my tattoos. They do a great job. Excelicor Real Estate. If you're looking to buy a house in the Tampa area, my boy Jeremy Rickard, he's the man to talk to. And all the fans that have reached out after this fight that said you didn't lose that fight, and all the people that have supported me along the way. I appreciate all the love.
Well, I'm gonna continue to support you, man, and definitely tell my man Dave Redneck Mandel that P said what's up, man.
Yeah, I sure will.
Like, he's definitely my favorite guy. And make sure y'all follow JR the Lion Ridge on Instagram at JR Ridge, man. I appreciate you coming in. Anytime you want to join the podcast, man, please do, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, bro.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Once again, another BKFC interview. One and only JR the Lion Ridge. Stay tuned. We're going to see who he has to fight next, and we're going to stay supporting and stay tuning in. And BKFC is definitely growing fast, taking over. UFC definitely has got some competition, man. I mean, this is the modern day American gladiator. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Paul Pickett Podcast, and we out.